What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Sunday, May 29th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, NBA playoffs, Game 7. Let's take a look at this NBA showdown between the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. So the super studs on the slate are Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler, and they're both pretty much the same price here. Jason Tatum is $11,000 DraftKings salary. Jimmy Butler is $10,800 DraftKings salary. Jason Tatum has scored 52, 51, and 52 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 45, 44, and 33 minutes. So he's a great play here tonight. He could be a captain. Then you have Jimmy Butler, who scored 82, 33, and 16 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 45, 40, and 27 minutes. So Jason Tatum, the more consistent fantasy point producer. But then you got Jimmy Butler, who's got that 70-plus fantasy point upside if he decides to play. So both these guys are captain eligible, and just a coin flip as to who is going to score more fantasy points in this game. So I like both Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler as possible captain options here tonight. So let's move it down in salary here. You got Jaylen Brown at $9,800 DraftKings salary. He was averaging 39.4 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 34 minutes per game with a 31% usage rate. He's projected at 40.9 fantasy points here tonight. He scored 40, 36, and 24 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 41, 39, and 29 minutes. So he does have 50 plus fantasy point upside, but more likely than not, you're going to get around 40 fantasy points with Jaylen Brown. So I like Jaylen Brown here versus the Miami Heat. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Now the controversial play here, Bam Adebayo. You know, at this point, it just does feel like he's more of a risk than anything. But if you want to make your lineup different, be a little contrarian here, you could always go with the Bam Adebayo captain and hope he puts up a 50-plus fantasy point performance. So he's $8,400 DraftKings salary. He averaged 40.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 33 minutes per game, with a 25% usage rate, but he really hasn't played well in the playoffs. He had 1 big game, and outside that, really hasn't done much. So he scored 20, 35, and 18 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 41, 38, and 27 minutes. You know, it's really strange to see a guy who's averaging 40.6 fantasy points per game on the season play more minutes than his season average and score consistently less fantasy points. So I don't know what's going on with Bam, but I certainly don't trust him at this point. Although, like I said, if you want to make a contrarian lineup and put him in the captain spot, if he goes off for 50 plus, then you'll be doing pretty well because not a lot of people are going to play Bam and captain. So I do like Bam here. He is only $8,400 DraftKings salary. And I think he can score 35 to 40 fantasy points here. So I don't mind this play. So I like Bam Adebayo here versus the Boston Celtics. Now let's move down in salary here. You have Derek White at 6,200 DraftKings salary. He averaged 28.2 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 29 minutes per game with a 21% usage rate. And he scored 43, 27, and 39 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 32, 29, and 40 minutes. So I like Derek White here versus the Miami Heat. Now I would stay away from Peyton Pritchard, even though he's only 3,600. He hasn't played many minutes the past couple of games, only 3 and 6 minutes in the last 2 games. So now that Marcus Smart is playing, you don't need to play Peyton Pritchard, but Derek White is still a good play. So Marcus Smart is 8,000 DraftKings salary, and he scored 25 and 17 fantasy points in the last 2 games, playing 40 and 23 minutes. So it was nice to see that he played 40 minutes last game. So he should get plenty of minutes here tonight. I think he's a fine play at 8,000 DraftKings salary. But a better play, if you did have 8,000 left over, I would play Al Horford, who's only 7,600 DraftKings salary. He scored 21, 38, and 34 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 32, 39, and 33 minutes. So outside of that last game where he only scored 21, he's been a consistent fantasy point producer, scoring between 35 to 45 fantasy points. And he's only 7,600 DraftKings salary, so I like Al Horford here versus the Miami Heat.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on.
Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups. Now you got Kyle Lowry coming off of a game where he scored 0 or negative fantasy points. He puts up 45 fantasy points last game in 36 minutes. So you got to consider Kyle Lowry here for only 7,000 DraftKings salary. And then if Tyler Hero does play this game, I think he's an interesting play at only 5,800 DraftKings salary. And then you got PJ Tucker at 5,600 DraftKings salary from the Miami Heat. He scored 23, 26, and 9 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 24, 31, and 21 minutes. Then you got Victor Oladipo at 5,200 DraftKings salary. He scored 17, 11, and 39 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 22, 15, and 30 minutes. So I think I do prefer Victor Oladipo over PJ Tucker. But it's a coin flip between those 2 guys. Who's going to play more minutes? Who's going to score more fantasy points? Another play you could consider here is Max Struss for 6,000 DraftKings salary, but he's playing a lot of minutes, but his fantasy point production is not super good. He scored 18 fantasy points in 34 minutes last game. So high risk play with Max Struss, but if you do want to make a lineup that's different, he could put up 25 to 35 fantasy points if he can play 30 plus minutes. So let's see who else do we have here on the slate. You got Grant Williams at 4,800, but his minutes are trending down, especially with the return of Robert Williams. It looks like Grant Williams may not play as many minutes here tonight.
He scored 7, 13, and 16 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 17, 23, in 36 minutes. So he's 4,800 DraftKings salary, but I would rather go with a guy like Victor Oladipo for just 400 more. Then you got Gabe Vincent at 4,200 DraftKings salary from the Miami Heat. He scored 7, 22, and 21 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 17, 23, and 26 minutes. So he could put up 20 plus fantasy points. He's kind of the cheapest option that I would consider here if you're looking to save salary for the rest of your lineup.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smiggity smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.